Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of how to make a Microtech. Now when we left off, the blades had come off of the laser machine, they had been cut, and then we did the first, or what we call the rough grinds. So from there, what they've got to do is they've actually got to go to CNC machining for any type of detail work for pivots or anything like that, but they still haven't got their grind yet. So what we have behind us are the two machines that actually put the production grind on the side of the blade. So let's go over there, let's take a look at those blades when they came off of a rough grind, and we'll see what these machines are doing. All right, so when we did that rough grind to get all that scaling off, these then have to go to blasting. Guys, there are a lot of steps and processes that we have to skip. We can't show you every single step and process because the video would be hours and hours in length. So on this blade, it's been blasted, but it has no grind in it. You can see where everything's been machined as far as the little inset there, and these details are pretty close. It still has to go to final grind. But the machine back here, this is called a burger, this one's called a Seatman, and right now we're running production blades on this burger. All right, so right now what he's doing is he is going to insert one of those blades onto this magnetic fixture. Once he starts it, goes inside, it uses the wheel like this, it uses the bottom of the wheel, and it will put that grind on there. When it comes off the machine, it is actually going to look like that now. We're basically taking flat stock and we're grinding the bevel onto this for the edge, okay? This is what is called the grind, okay? Now, guys, we produce thousands of knives per week, literally thousands. Just the process on one blade could take 2 to 3 minutes for the operator just to get to this point. On this Seatman over here, these are actually for the kitchen knives. So what she is doing is she's putting that grind on the blade. Could I see one of those? Thank you. And so you'll see how we are putting that grind from a flat stock. So that's what these do. This is the heart of Microtech, is getting that grind on there. Now the thing you have to understand is from here, they don't magically get built. We have to decide whether or not it's going to go to Cerakote for a finish or whether it's going to get DLC. There's a lot of other things that have to go on. So what we'll do is we'll go to our Cerakote division. We are certified Cerakote applicators. We're going to check out what's going on in there, everything from blades to chassis, and then all of that will then go into inventory. All right, this is our Cerakote division. Let's come on in. We're not going to touch anything, but let's say they had blades that needed to be Cerakote, whether it's a two-tone finish or something like that, or something really unique. These guys are actually going to take these blades, they're going to hang them, and they're going to paint them. So we have all of this fixturing here for these blades. You guys will see some of these MSI blades. They'll get hung up, and then you'll actually have your sprayers. They're going to mix everything. They do their own lasering here. That's Wayne himself. And then here's an example of those MSI blades with a camo type finish. They do their own stenciling. They do everything here when it comes to processing this blade and getting it ready for a certain build, because that's got to be matched with a certain handle. So whether these guys are putting the matching finish on it or not, they're going to do all of that within this location here in Cerakote. They also have their own lab grade curing ovens. And so from here, everything's going to finally come together and go into inventory or inventory control. Let's go check that out. All right, so this is inventory or inventory control. This is where everything comes together. Like, these drawers are filled with thousands of pieces, parts, and components. And what they'll do is they'll start matching these components up for the build kit. They have to make sure they have all of the parts, all of the turn parts, the handles, the pocket clips, everything comes together here. In this case, what they're doing is they are matching handles, because sometimes you will have a little bit of color variation. So you're matching tops and bottoms on, let's say this is the Ultratech, the Gen 3, the ZBP. And then on this side, she's actually doing some scarabs and OD green anodizing. So yeah, all of this stuff is trayed up. You can see some beautiful orange combat Turodons. And like I said, not enough here to do a build, but they will tray everything out, match it up with the parts. They'll also have to get the blades lasered. So once they know the production list for the week, what they have to do is assemble a build kit. So this will actually go to an assembler. It actually has a work order with it, with all the parts to finish out this LUDT build. It will have all the small parts, the springs, everything. The only thing the assembler needs to know is have the know-how on how to assemble that particular model. and then also have the proper tools for it. At this point, the blade would already be lasered. It's already been Cerakoted. It's already been sent off after Cerakoting to have that grind put on there. That's why you have that two-tone finish. And so everything is ready to go, ready for assembly. Let's go check out assembly. All right, so behind me, all of those trays, those kits, are gonna go to the assembler. Each one of these are workstations with the build trays. What these guys will do is they will assemble the knife, make sure that everything's good, and once it passes that assembler's QC, then it will go into the sharpening cell. So let's go check it out. So once an assembler gets done with his build, he'll actually take his tray and he'll place it here, knives ready to wrap. So these knives should be good to go. These are complete knives. They've already passed that assembler's QC process. And when we say we wrap them, guys, we really take extra care. We will take paper like this and wrap each individual knife the same way every time. So this protects not only the finish on the chassis, but it also keeps any debris from getting into the action or into the mechanism. Because as the sharpener starts to sharpen this blade, you're gonna have metallic particles going everywhere, and we don't want those introduced into the action. So you have a person here that actually wraps, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you inside. Here's some Ultratechs here. This is the sharpening cell, and remember, everyone's on lunch, but normally there's a person at each one of these stations. We're not gonna spend a lot of time in here. We do scrub the air, but basically a sharpener, he has to sharpen all of these today. They've already been wrapped. So he's actually got 3 different wheels here. He's gonna start with the red, go to the gray, and then he's gonna go for the final. Every one of our knives are sharpened by hand to this day. We do not use any type of machine to automatically sharpen the knife. There is a big learning curve here, especially on the type of blade, whether you're using a Tonto or you're doing something like a recurve. Some are more difficult than others. All right, so once those knives leave sharpening, then they're gonna come in here to QC final inspection. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna take a knife, they're gonna unwrap it. These are all sharpened, they're pretty much ready to go. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna dip it to get all of the metallic material off of it from sharpening, and they're gonna wipe that blade down, they're gonna spray it off, and then at that point, they're gonna actually check the knife for function. If for some reason there is not something that's 100% perfect on the knife, and I truly mean 100% perfect on the knife, if it fails in any way, or if they see any type of cosmetic defect, cosmetic might go into the seconds, which would be sold as a grenade knife, means it's perfectly functioning. However, there might be a little scratch or a nick. Well, at that point, you're not gonna change that out. You guys have seen how far these knives have gone through this process. To just start trying to switch out handles and rebuild a knife, it's not worth it. It's easier just to go ahead and laser a grenade on there, set them as seconds. However, if there's one that's not functioning properly, then that will get marked. That will have to go back into assembly, and they'll have to figure out why this knife is failing. So once those knives go through final inspection, they're gonna go into packaging. From here, they're gonna get labeled, the knives get wrapped in plastic, and then they go into the appropriate boxes. After that, they are gonna go into inventory. So inventory control is over here for the finished product. Now, all of this inventory that you see, this gets sold every week, and on the other side there, without zooming in on the numbers, those are gonna be dealer orders for the week. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding of how many people and how many hands have to touch these knives from start to finish. We wish we could just throw in a piece of metal and out pops the knife, but it's not so easy. It is literally weeks, if not a month, on the processes. If you're talking about DLC, you're talking about anodizing on the different chassis, and this is what you get when you're paying for a Microtech brand. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this series on the making of a Microtech. If you want to know more, definitely follow us on social media, on Facebook as well as Instagram. You guys take care and have a great week.